Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 2640. This is a satin chrome. It's a 2640-US26D. Satin chrome oblong flush pole is what it is. I have one removed from the packaging here so we can take a closer look at it. 2640. This is a piece of stamped material. They say that it's solid brass. I say that it's not ferrous-based. I don't have any reason to suspect that it's not solid brass. However, I would really appreciate a better quality finish on a piece of solid brass material. This looks... I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the finish looks like, but it does not look like satin chrome plating over solid brass. You know, like I see it. I like Hager a lot, but this would not be my first choice if I was looking for a really nice architectural finish. This flush pole is going to be used on sliding doors, pocket doors. This is what you're going to, when the door is out of the pocket, is what you're going to get your fingers on and pull them along. Okay, bypass doors and closets all the time. Would be really nice and appropriate for use on doors that were slightly smaller than standard, because I think this is a bit smaller than standard. They've got an overall height of 2 3/4. That's pretty close. They've got an overall width of 1 5/16. Available in different finishes, and I'm going to go through them now. I'm looking at a screen here. 10A, US 10A for antique bronze, US 15 for satin nickel, US 15A for antique nickel, US 3 polished brass, US 4 satin brass, US 5 antique brass, US 26 satin chrome, and then US 26D, pardon me, I said that backwards, US 26 polished chrome, US 26D satin chrome. Going to come with a couple of screws. One thing that I would like, if this is solid brass, you know, a piece of hardware, these screws should be isolated from the hardware itself, and they're not. And that's not the way you ship solid brass hardware. Hager, you should be isolating the screws from that material. But, like I said, I call it like I see it. There's a link below this video to a document called Template that will show us the dimensional properties of the item. Going to show you the mortise that you're going to work with, and they're going to give you an idea of what they would suggest you do to install the material. They're looking for a couple of 1-inch diameter holes that are 3/8 deep, that have a center line of 1 5/16 from each other. So what you could do is get a Forstner bit and just drill that hole twice, 3/8 deep. What would even be better, way better, would be a router, naturally. Boy, if you could use a router, that would be the way to go. Create yourself a wooden template, clamp it down onto the door, drop that router through, and you'll be off to the races. You don't need to square out the corners for this at all. But if you're going to do 1 or 2 of them, you could obviously chisel the door. If you had a Forstner bit, you could use that as well. You could use, I suppose you could use a fly bit. You want to be careful not to poke through the other side of the door, but a router would be the way to go. They're looking for a mortise length of 2 5/16, and if I go from the body up here, I would not have any compunction about 2 5/16 at all. And then a width, they're looking at, well, it's going to be 1 inch wide, right? Yeah, I would say 1 inch would be really good. That's going to allow you to drop that unit down, run your screws through into your core. Do not make the hole any larger than necessary in terms of the height, because your screws are going to have less material to thread into, so be mindful of that. If you're, speaking of being mindful, before you mortise for these, take an audit of the rest of the doors in the space. You're going to want to mimic the height of existing doors if there are any. You don't want to do a hallway of doors to have all your locks going down and then sliding doors on either side and have that line of sight get interrupted by flush poles at a funny height. So be mindful of that. Very thin material. They say that it's 20 thousandths thick. My caliper tells me that it's 0.023, so 23 thousandths thick. It's probably because this material is just hemmed over ever so microscopically small. Okay, I mean, all in all, it's not a bad finish. I just would prefer a piece of solid brass to make me feel like I'm looking at solid brass, and this does not, is the bottom line. Having said these partially less than positive things about the Hager product, they are a comprehensive provider of material, a name that you really could not and should not try to steer away from. There's a link below this video to a document called Product Catalog where you can review lots of closet door type hardware, not only flush poles, but some knobs, some pocket door passage and privacy sets. Edge poles are there. So if you're looking for the 2640, you're for sure going to be wanting to look at the 9882 or the 9884 edge poles. Then their 2 1/8 diameter flush cut poles are there in different sizes. Be careful on those because they have a 2620, which is really uncommon. Some people order that 2620 when they are thinking of that they're getting the 2630, and they're like, wow, that's awfully small. Turns out it's the smaller of the two, and I don't know of anyone else who has that flush cup size pole but Hager, so be mindful of that. There's also a link to the template we've already covered. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Hager products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Hager, they're part number 2640 and a 26D finish, flush pole, or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.